Alrighty guys, welcome back for part 3, act 3, and in this act we will eventually be able to ascend. Well, we're going to finish all the trials to ascend. We have 3 in this area. So, first off, what we're going to do, from the start of town, we're going to go to the slums over here. We're going to hopefully get some good stuff. You're going to see there's a sewer here. We're going to want access to that later. Oh, we leveled up, nice. And also, I did some further testing on the mechanics of the Trial of the Ancestors. Not worth it at all. Like, I can go in here and one-shot things. Over there, it takes so much time to actually eliminate the targets, and on top of taking so much time, the rewards just simply weren't worth it. The rewards in the game should always be proportional to the difficulty, so at least as of right now, I'm sure people will comment and eventually they may buff the rewards earlier on, but if not, hopefully in the later stages they will be more valuable. But we have another passive skill point, so we're going to eventually get some more arrows. But one thing that I actually kind of want to push for earlier on, which is a really nice thing to have, is we are going to continue actually going upwards, and we're going to get this thing that's going to make it so we have 100% increased evasion rating from equipped body armor. It's going to be a very nice boost to survivability, and then I'm going to show you guys how we can increase our DPS by a long shot. Right now we're going to gain one little extra defenses thing. You can still pick up the silver coins. And we are going to continue. I just love that we're still able to one-shot everything, because I feel like this game feels really good when you're just melting content. And that's what this build can do. And it's going to be pretty strong for a really long time. Alright, so next we're going to go to the Crematorium. And if you ever get confused, you can always open up, what do I have mine set to? I think it's set to you. So there's a thing called World Screen. Just click on that and I'll show you what the quest is. You're going to only have one, but we can get the waypoint over here. There is a Trial of Ascendancy in this area though. Click on this one, it's going to give us some skeletons. Yeah, most of the shrines you always want to pick up. There's one exception where it has a little bit of a risk factor. You may take some more damage, but you get better loot. It's still worth it though overall. So some strong boxes, there's going to be ones where you have to kill a wave of monsters. I don't think we're going to upgrade on boots for a long time, but the boots that I want eventually are actually... Okay, unfortunately I don't have boots because I'm just going to throw them on the ground. But the boots that I want to get are Lionized Paws, or 1 Chaos Orb or 1 Orb of Alchemy. It's super cheap. I try to make it so the playthrough, all the items that we purchase, that we trade with, are super, super cheap and beginner friendly. And if you don't have the resources to get one, don't worry about it. The only thing that you just need to get is basically Roth's Reach, which we bought for 1 Orb of Alchemy, and getting a Fox Shade later on could be good, but it's really not that big of a deal if you don't get the armor. It just gives us a massive amount of chance to just not take any damage. And that way we can scale way more damage, more movement speed, which we will get a lot more movement speed as well. So make sure we get the Trial of Ascendancy done over here. It's only important. So you'll see that there are these little iron grates underneath us, and when the lava rises we take damage, but if we're on the high ground the lava won't get us. So what they want you to do is wait, but I'm just going to rush through all of it. And you'll see that there's these little levers. Click on the lever, it's going to open up the door to the next area.
Allow your wisdom to be tempered by the flames of the past.
I think this is the area. You'll see that there's an X. What level are we? 27? Okay. Sanguinate. If you want to pick up gems with quality earlier on, yeah, you can collect a bunch of them and turn them in, but I usually find it to be a waste of time. It's only really worth it if you're playing non-trade, or if you don't want to engage with people, to pick up all the quality gems and convert it. At the very beginning, you should pick them up so you can learn. Once you get enough quality, you can turn them in for something that will increase the quality of your gems. Or if it's 20% quality, it's still worth picking up for sure. You'll get what's called that Gem Cutter's Prism. And then now we're going to click on Tolman. We're going to get the bracelet. And now we're going to go back to Clarissa. So we're going to go back to town. We only have 3 portal scrolls, and I already got the waypoint, so I'm just going to do this. So this is like a way to save on portals, but later on you will never have to do this. You'll get enough. It's just earlier on it can be worth it. So we're going to talk to Clarissa. She's going to give us the sewer keys. Take that, and if we see any NPCs with exclamation marks above their head, we can take the quest. Oops, this one's got a reward. So this is for us saving Clarissa. So we got Despair, we have Grace. Okay, cool. So Grace is going to be good for survivability. We can pick up this. I'm going to start leveling it up. This will cost a lot of our mana, though. So I'm just going to level it up. I'm not going to use it right now, but it's going to reserve 50% of our mana, which is a huge chunk. We really don't have room to throw that on right now. But we do want to level it up. Eventually, you can just buy all your gems max level because we're going to be farming for items really fast. So now we're going to go back to the slums. And the reason why is that sewer was much closer to this side, and it's usually closer to town. And then now we can go through the sewers. In the sewers, we're going to be looking for 3 platinum busts. It's a quest that will give us some extra skill points. We're going to do all the skill point quests in this game. All worked in. And eventually we can maybe get something called Nomic Storm, which are these boots that will give us really good movement speed, but they also make us take more damage. But if we don't take any damage, because that's how evade works, you just don't take any of the damage, eventually you will get hit hard, but that's the payoff. And I still think it's worth it. Oh, is that a 4-link? Oh, it's a 3-link. Okay. So yeah, we're going to be looking for 3 of these busts. So this area we will access later. We're going to definitely want to get the waypoint in the sewers.
I'm not up to that just yet.
But if you see any of these yellow exclamation marks on the map, go ahead and click on them. So you want to get this. Oh, there's a 4-link blue. If we were maybe we can save these. Maybe if I want to reroll another class, I'll have these ready to go. You can always think about, items for another character. If you see something that, gives you, let's say fire spells or spell damage, and you really like the colors that it has on the item, you can save it for another character. You can trade it to another person. So you don't always have to get things just for your character. You can get one for an alt character. But I usually just start off with one character, get it to end game. See if we need to go over here. Sometimes the last platinum bus will be hiding in one of these little areas where it opens up another area, because that's kind of how the sewers are. If you've played Diablo 2, it's kind of like the maggot layer. There's another fleur-de-lis. If you want to get the Undercity hideout, you can get it. You only need one hideout though. Getting multiple is just basically another skin. Oh, we have 2 platinum busts. I think one of them opens up the quest, yeah. If you open up the quest menu, it will show, yeah, you can see it. And we're going to level up all the gems. Okay. Now we're just going to continue. And what we're looking for is the last platinum bust. There we go, there it is. So there's 3 of them in total, and then it'll grant us a skill point. But I'm not going to portal into town right now, I just want to continue until we get to the next waypoint. Go to next. There's another 4-linked blue over there. Right now we're still running a 4-link. And ideally we find another. Well, I'm probably not gonna find another Fox Shade. Fox Shade is really good for campaign leveling, and we can use it for quite some time because of what it does, which gives us massive amount of evasion rating. So now that we got this waypoint, we're going to go back to town. I'm going to turn in the platinum bus, so we can get our skill point. Okay, there we go.
Stay out of the shadows.
So we have 2 skill points to go ahead and put in. And what we're going to do is, I think this is our first mastery skill that we're going to get. So we're going to put 1 into survivalist. This is just gives us extra evasion rating, which is already good. And now watch the amount of evasion rating that we're about to get right here. So we have currently, if we click on defense, we have 2,600, which means we have an 80% chance not to take any damage. Now I'm going to click on this little Not on one of these right here, okay? But if you click on the wrong one, you can just click again. Later, you'll have to click refund if you hit accept. But if we click on evasion mastery over here, I can select one of these things called a mastery. So what I want to do is I want to get 100% increased evasion rating from equipped body armor. This thing is awesome. I actually really like to get the extra movement speed one as well. Later, we'll get that, but this is going to be massive. So watch, our evasion rating goes from 2,600 to 3,131. Even though we only gained a couple of the evasion rating, it's going to still be very, very strong, because as you increase the amount of percentages, it just becomes kind of increasingly harder, but it becomes more and more valuable, because the amount that you're like evading, or if you're running armor, it will be harder to get like more mitigation.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Okay, so next up, we're just going to keep on going. You see this? We can click on this. Cool. The Decanter Spiritus. That one, you usually can't miss that one. So, Orb of Trance. Have you seen these Tormented Spirits? They're supposed to be kind of like the loot goblins in Diablo, but they're honestly pretty weak in terms of what they drop. Oh, it has no movement speed. I'm not picking up items really to sell anymore, because I think it's just a kind of a waste of time. Some of those will like explode or have some sort of AoE that comes out. So a lot of times when you open up a strong box, especially when it's unidentified, you don't need to stand right next to it. You want to open it and then kind of move away. It's the better strategy. Okay. Now we're in the battlefront. Sure, I kind of want to hug the left side over here, because there's another quest that we can get finished. Oh, there is a essence. You always want to do these in the earlier stages until every single item that you have is at least yellow. And they're still helpful for later in the game. What we really need now in our character to get like a little bit of an upgrade is a much better quiver. Is this a white one? No. Look for a better quiver. That'd be nice. And we definitely want to get the waypoint for the battlefront, because we're going to have to return to here later. Usually it's in the middle of here. So this is another area that we will go to, the docks. But the first thing I want to try to get is the waypoint, which might be over here. Let's see. If you want to pick up any of the red, blue, and green linked items, you totally can. It's not bad. Okay, yeah, it was right. It was right here. So we want to go at the waypoint. And always to the left of the waypoint, there's this thing where you get the ribbon spool. And there's another quest item. And now we're going to continue to the docks. Ooh, another level up. Now we're going to get a lot, and I mean a lot more damage. It's a 40% more, which is, in this game, when it says, like, increased damage to projectiles, it'll be an additive, and the key word is more damage, or if the enemy takes increased damage, there are certain things that count as a more multiplier, which would be a multiplicative. Basically, if it doesn't make sense, multiplicative damage is way better, because it takes all your damage and then multiplies it. It's just way better. Kind of like in Diablo 4, how we have the damage buckets. The more damage is the good one. So now we're looking for this. And we got the sulphite. And we're pretty much good here. Don't really need the waypoint for this area. We can actually just go back. If I want to, I can just shoot up a portal. That'll be good. Now we got another skill point. And so what I actually want to do is I want to go back over here, and we're going to get precise technique. Eventually we're going to remove it. The way that this works is it gives us a massive amount of damage if we have accuracy rating higher than our maximum life. So our accuracy rating is our chance to hit. I go to my character, and I go into the offense, and make sure you select the skill, because you might have something that affects it. So we have 800 accuracy rating. Now our HP is 600. So the accuracy rating must remain higher than our HP. The reason why we scale getting a lot of evasion instead of getting life is because this is way better. And also we just scale to get more damage, because if we just take no damage, well, HP doesn't really matter as much, even though you still want HP. But we're going to get this. And then there's a set of things over here which gives us increased accuracy rating. But we're also going to get one of these. It gives us 100 accuracy rating per green socket equipped on the bow. There's actually more accuracy rating over here as well, but we'll still get HP eventually, but it's just a way to get a massive chunk of damage in the game. Anyways, let's continue, and now we are going to go back, and it'll tell us to search the docks for a use for it, and then there's also another path that we can take in the battlefront. So go up and to the right now. So we went up and to the left for the docks. We'll find a use for it once we get to this next area. There we go. Oh, there's a silver coin. Okay, there we go. And eventually, once we get like one Chaos Orb, and I'm sure that if we get a bunch of these small currencies, we're pretty close to it. We're going to get this item called Prism Weave. This item, Prism Weave, well, will pretty much double our DPS. It's going to be massive. Our DPS is really good. I mean, we're one-shotting everything for the most part. That's not a yellow, like, elite. You can swap these potions at this point, since we were running like the old potions for so long. Also, if you notice on the ground, there's way more items on your play session versus mine. It's because I have a loot filter, so I have a thing set up where I don't see a lot of like the things that I'd consider garbage. But by default, I think there is like some small like loot filter, but that's like an optional thing, and you can download one later if you want to.
I'm not up to that just yet.
I have like a video tutorial on that, and it's been in the description box since like the part 1. It's just optional, additional like Path of Exile tools that will help you. I like the ones that make sounds when like certain items drop. You can see right now, oh, there's an orb balcony, nice. The area is level 27, and we are level 29. And you can have multiple shrines at once. There's actually some builds that kind of rely on it, and I think that they are really cool. But eventually we want to get another,
Beauty will grow from your remains.
maybe we can get a different fox shade. I just picked this one up because it was the first one there. But eventually we might want to get like another 4-link. We can do something with mana forged arrows, which is actually a really cool thing they get added in the, not this like season, but it came out in the last season. And it's really good. How it works is once you spend a certain amount of mana, it'll just activate a skill for free. And you link Mana Forged Arrow with, like, let's say, like a fire arrow or like a cold arrow. It's called Ice Shot. But there's a lot of things that you can link it with. And it just gives you another skill to use. And it's awesome. What we're going to be comboing it with is something called Frenzy, which is going to give us a Frenzy charge on hit. And that's going to increase our DPS, which is going to be awesome. It's basically like free. Well, we just need to use up 2 gem slots. So it's Mana Forged Arrows. And how it works is once we spend a certain amount of mana, it'll just activate. And it's one of the greatest things ever. And it makes me never want to stop playing like bow. Bow is one of my favorites in the game. And that combo is going to be amazing. I just don't have room for it right now. In fact, we could get it right now. If I get another Fox Shade, but I might do that in the next part. Alright, so what we're looking for is eventually we go to the Solaris Temple level 2. From level 1, of course. It's like usually up and to the right. Talk to Dahlia. She's going to talk to us a lot because we got a bunch of the quest things done. And then we can select a reward. Honestly, none of these really are necessary for us right now. If you need a certain thing, okay, now we're gonna get the Infernal Talent.
You may go.
So if I identify this, we can see maybe it's an upgrade. We got some physical damage, a bunch of dexterity, and some mana regen. This one, let's see if we can actually use this. Oh, it messed us up. Now I can't use Herald of Thunder because I don't have the intelligence required. I don't really need Herald of Thunder. I mean, it adds, what is it, like 3 to 11 lightning damage. Whereas this, I'm getting 4 to 9 physical, and that's going to be converted because I have 100% conversion with our physical lightning. If you don't have physical lightning, don't worry, but just at least lightning arrow, Mirage Archer, less for multiple projectiles. It's just pretty solid overall. Okay, so next point over here, we're getting this. So we get extra dexterity. Dexterity by default also will give you accuracy. 1 dexterity equals 2 accuracy. And we're going to get a lot of dexterity because we are the ranger class. And so once we get this, oh man, our damage is just going to go up. And it's going to be great. All right, so now that we have this, the Infernal Talic, we can go back to, oops, not the battlefront, the sewers. And we're going to be able to go through this path over here. Gets you through the sewers. Now you're going to go to the Ebony Barracks. I'll grab the waypoint over here. And we're going to be killing the General Gravicius, which we'll find. So here he is. Throw a bunch of turrets down. Might be able to activate Grace. Let's see if we can activate Grace. Yeah, we have 26 mana.
My mana is gone.
Yeah, I don't really like doing that. But Grace is a very good thing. It's going to give us a massive amount of survivability. So he's a little bit tankier because he's going to be like a special guy. So we'll have to keep on attacking him. Sniper's Mark, and he'll eventually go down. Still level up Grace though, and you'll see when he has that shield, it's called Molten Shell. It will pop eventually when we do a bunch of damage to him, and it will explode and do a massive amount of damage. But since we're playing Ranger, just stay away, and you'll be okay. And then there we go, he is dead. Now we're going to be going up. And you can always use your little dash to go above these areas as well. It's really nice. I think our mana is pretty good. I'm thinking about just dropping one of these and then throwing on Grace to see if we can do that. 70? Okay. Yeah, we could do that. So right now what we did is I dropped Clarity, which is that thing that gives us mana regen. And I have Vitality and Vitality Precision because this also gives us accuracy rating, which is kind of important. And we can maybe start leveling that up if we want to. But now our evasion rating is 4,700. So basically, we only have like a 14% chance of even ever taking damage, which is great. Let's see if we can throw this up. This doesn't have enough green sockets. Ideally, if it has a lot of green sockets, we could consider it. The level of socketed bow gems doesn't really matter for us, but like if you're playing a spellcaster, plus level of gem sockets is fantastic. So now we're in the Lunar's Temple. We're just gonna keep on zooming. Hopefully, relatively soon we'll get a Chaos Orb, and then we can get this belt called the Prism Weave, and then we can start zooming once again. Alright, this is going to be a major one. So look at our damage here. Okay, so our damage, it's this number by the way. Is my face blocking it? Oh, it's fine. The only number that's important is this one. So you can see right now, if I put this one in, we have 957, 1340. So there's where the more multiplier comes in. It's 40% more damage. So when you get like a 5% increased damage, it's not the same as 40, like 5% more damage could be better than 40% increased damage. Keywords are very important in this game, depending on the build and the other multipliers, but yeah, for the most part, it will usually be better. It's by such a massive amount. It's great. Where is the exit? Oh, did I miss it? It could be over there, actually. Or do we have an exit over here? There's a portal scroll. I need to pick up some. We're only at 5 right now. Oh, look at that. That's just that small little sliver, man. It's that action RPG. Unluckiness. That happens sometimes. We're just going to keep on going. And eventually we'll get some more arrows as well. Now we're going to the Lunaris Temple level 2.
Piety.
What we really need right now is also like a quiver. We have what, 1 orb alchemy? Okay. Hopefully we can get an upgrade. And I'll mention in like the description box some other good items to look out for. So off the top of my head, items like Thaumetic Sulphite. It's a ring that just gives you some cold damage. It's just a massive amount of cold damage to all of your attacks. What's up, Roy? How you doing? Oh, did Bomb Rush come out today? I didn't know that. That's the game that's kind of like Jet Set Radio. What's my opinion on Marauder? So any melee build in general is really rough to play for a beginner. I will never do a beginner's guide with melee until it gets like massively buffed. It's been this way. It's like kind of a meme in the Path of Exile community. It's like, oh, another league where they didn't buff melee. Melee really needs some buffs. And it's because like there's a lot of bosses where there's giant AoE on the ground. And it's like you can't just stand in that. Or the boss will be in an area where you can't damage them because if you go to it, you'll just degen out. And a lot of the monsters, when they die, they'll like explode or something, and melee just has a more rough time in general. So yeah, I don't know if I'll ever go and play melee again. Although this league, I was going to do it towards the very end. Because usually I'll play like maybe two to 3 characters per Path of Exile league if I'm enjoying like the league content. If there's something new to shoot for. Like last league there was a few new Vol skills. One of them was like Absolution, was for minions, and I want to play bow because it's like my favorite. Last league was the best bow league because Vengeance Cascade was the most OP thing ever, and they heavily nerfed it, but it's fine, it doesn't really matter. Bow's still really strong. So Vengeance Cascade was an ability. It still exists, but they completely, like, it's not the same ability at all. So how it used to work is when you would shoot, your arrows would then return, and you'd still get the same damage. And just basically just an easy double DPS, like for almost no cost. It required an enchantment on an amulet, but it was just so amazingly good. But now it got turned into a gem, but it does less damage. So now we're coming up to the portal. This is important. We're going to be fighting a boss over here. Here's Piety. So we have to kill Piety. It's called Piety's Pets. So it's going to give us a skill point. Go over and get the crafting recipe. We'll throw that thing on her, the Sniper's Mark. Eventually, we will never have to do Sniper's Mark anymore. It's going to automatically do it. A lot of the things in Path of Exile will all pretty much get automated towards the end of the game. Lovely. The tower key, nice. Now that we got the key, we can go. That's basically what we needed this thing for. And then we are supposed to talk to Gregor for a skill point. There's a bunch of people that we've talked to because we probably completed a couple things. Alright, so we get Scourge, Arrow, Tornado. Tornado Shot is awesome. I love that skill. Honestly, with these, this one, Sequence of Fire. This one actually does pretty good damage, but like the thing has to hold still. Honestly, get whatever you want. It doesn't really matter because we're not going to use any of them. If I had Frenzy, though, I'd take Frenzy. But Tornado Shot is a kind of a fun skill. It used to be one of like the kings. It's still a pretty good thing. It actually might be better to this league because there's no returning arrows anymore. So there we go. We got Piety. Now we're going to get another skill point. And here's the skill point. I should probably do this like every start and at the end. So this is kind of what our skill tree looks like. And to maintain our accuracy, like right now, I'll just tell you what the accuracy is because I know my face might be blocking it. So our accuracy is currently 994. So we have like 300 more. But eventually, if you need to, and because you may get items that give you more life, and like this gives us a bunch of accuracy as well, but it depends on your gear. If you need to get more accuracy, this will give you some more accuracy. You can also get this. It gives you 100 per green socket on your bow, which is excellent. Or we can start pushing for extra elemental damage if you want some more damage. If you want some more HP, well, that's another option as well. At the moment, we're like really good on like everything. I eventually want to stop running lesser multiple projectiles, and so we got to put a bunch of points into the points over here so we can eventually get Master Fletcher. So that's kind of what I want to shoot for. There's also additional movement speed. I'm thinking about getting this because like extra movement speed really makes the game feel so much better because you're just going faster. Even if I do less DPS, I'm moving and killing things so much faster. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this next one. So I'm going to get 9% more movement speed. So now that we got the tower key, what we're going to do is we are going to go back and go to the Ebony Barracks, and we want to hug the right side now. And this it's going to have another trial coming up. Love. Again. Now we'll have that extra movement speed. So yeah, it's always up and to the right. Some of the areas are always going to be the same, but some areas will be kind of different. And this is where the game gets so crazy to where, like, if I didn't tell you, and this is your first time, you'd never think of what you're supposed to do in this area to get kind of a... I'd say it's kind of a secret here. So from the waypoint, you want to go to the left, and we're going to go to the library. And what this is going to allow us to do is basically get a bunch of different skill points. Oh, Winter's an awesome skill. A Sniper's Mark upgrade. So we're going to go to the library, and what we're going to be looking for a candle that has a secret. This is one of the craziest things that, like, I'm just like, how was I supposed to know that? Like, I looked this up, like, a long time ago on the wiki. I found that out, because I'm like, how is anyone supposed to just naturally figure this out? Well, it's kind of like games back in the day, right? If you ever play, like, any Super Nintendo games, or, like, games for the Sega Genesis, like, they're just things that you just had to know, right? But how is the game, Roy? How is the Bomb Rush Cyberpunk? It's like that. If you guys are wondering what the game is, it's very similar to Jet Set Radio Future. Alright, so this is the guy talks about his golden pages, but in order to get to the area where we get to find these golden pages, we have to find a loose candle. It's going to be like on the wall, but it'll be kind of in a room that has, like, it'll be like in one of these rooms. It's not going to be in between, like, it's not going to be one of the, like that one right there. You just got to look for it. And sometimes it's hidden, man. And that's why it's going to be easier to follow a guide with this game, because if you didn't have this. Well, this freezes you when it activates. A lot of times that will get you killed, but since we just, like, don't take damage, well, it makes things very easy. Here we go. Loose candle. See how it's right there? And then now we get to go to the secret area, the archives. And so what we're looking for here is these 4 golden pages. But this is easy. The golden pages, I mean, there's a giant exclamation mark that says, hey, it's right here. So we collect all 4 of them. We're going to give it to him. And then you get most of the skills in the game like that you'd want at like this level. And I'll show you guys some of the ones that you can be on the lookout for. And I'll try to set up a Mana Forged arrow if I can. That one detonates the corpses next to you, so.
Yes.
Oh, got another fuser. I think 4 fusers will equal 1 Chaos Orb, so I can get Prism Weave. Maybe right after this we'll get Prism Weave.
Good.
And again, you don't have to get any of the items. You don't have to trade if you don't want to, but I'm going to do it because it's part of learning Path of Exile is learning to trade with people. It's really easy to buy, to price items, and to sell. There's lots of different tools, and I'll show you kind of how that works once we get later in the game where we actually want to sell our items, because, well, nothing's really worth anything right now that we have. But yeah, the League mechanic isn't really worth doing so far. Like where we go fight the little, like, auto battler thing. I want to do it in the end game though, for sure. But okay, this guy, I guess we're gonna have to throw that Sniper's Mark. You only really want to use Sniper's Mark on the elites here, and then we got another skill point over here. So it's kind of up to you on what you want to get, like, if you need more accuracy, then obviously that can be an option. But I want to try to get these additional arrows, because otherwise, when I shoot, I only shoot one arrow if I remove my lesser multiple projectiles, because that lets me shoot 2. I would rather get more damage right now by making it so I'm still going to have 3 arrows at the end of this, but I get another gem socket, which can actually increase your damage, because this little thing that goes above my head, it attacks relatively slow, but overall it still gives you more DPS. But there comes to a point where some people don't like the Mirage Archer just because it's slower. Because if I shoot once and kill everything, I mean, you have to shoot once to activate it. But it could kill stuff like, you know, while you're just running around. I like it. It's a really good thing to have. You can alternatively have 2. Let me throw this on. Then we have the extra golden page. Get rid of that. Okay. So we have to find we need 1 more, right? Oh, we got all of them. Okay, so now that we've gotten all the golden pages, we're going to go back to Siosa. I don't know if we got the waypoint. There is a waypoint right next to him. Now, with a lot of the vendors in this game, when you're trading items with them, you don't need the item in your inventory. Siosa is different. He requires you to have the item in your inventory. Like the other ones you can have it in your stash because it's in town. But once we return the pages, he's going to give us a reward. So we can select Fork, Fortify, Life Leash, Hypothermia, Ice Bite, Focus Ballista, Second Wind, Critical, what is it? Strike Affliction. We're going to get Second Wind. It's up to you what you want to take. If you see something that you want, go for it. This doesn't really matter too much. So what you can do in this game, do I have another bow? Oh no, I don't have another bow. So what I also want to grab is something called Frenzy. So it's in the green, so I type in the Friends. So where's Frenzy? Okay, here, we're going to grab Frenzy here. And if, okay, we're going to throw in Frenzy. What do we have here? Dash. Can I move Grace somewhere else? No, I don't have any room for it. But I want to show you guys Mana Forged Arrow because it's so awesome. So we're going to go to the support gem, and we're going to go to Mana, and we're going to grab Mana Forged Arrow. So what we're going to try to link is we're going to get Mana Forged Arrow and Frenzy. We want extra 2 greens that are linked. Unfortunately, I don't have anything right now, but I can maybe buy an item that will have it linked. The thing that's going to give us the most increased amount of damage in the current state right here is probably getting a chest piece that is if we can get a Fox Shade that is 4 linked, that'd be ideal, because then we can remove this garbage helmet, because that's the only reason why we have that. So let's go to town. What are we at? I'm only at 30 minutes for here. We're almost at the very end of this act anyways. So let me see what the conversion rate from Orbs of Fusings are. So sometimes prices in this game, they fluctuate literally by the minute. Sometimes it's different days. Usually certain items will go up and down in price. Basically, the more expensive items would be like the Divine Orbs usually will go up in price as time progresses. But if we go to like the item exchange over here, so you can show off all the different little like currencies in the game. So like, for example, if I want, like, let's say I want a Chaos Orb. Let me move my face out of the way. So if I go, I want a Chaos Orb, I've got fusers. You know, what's the currency exchange rate? So right now, oh wait, did I click on that? Okay, here we go. There we go. So right now, 50 fusings is worth 10 Chaos. So it's about 6 fusers equals 1 Chaos Orb. And I kind of wanted to get a Chaos Orb, but I think it's not going to happen right now because I need 1 more. Now let's see silver coins. So let's say I want Chaos Orbs and I have the Ancestor currency. That is the silver coin. I don't know if people are trading these right now. Okay, so wow, 15 or 22 for 1 Chaos Orb. Do we have? We have 9. Okay, so sometimes things, again, they'll fluctuate in price. Let's see how many Orbs of Alchemy is 1 Chaos Orb. Just so I know. So it's about 5. Okay, usually like 4 to 5 to 1. So we really can't get anything other than for maybe like a 1 Orb of Alchemy. And I do definitely want these Mana Forged Arrows, or I can get some boots. So let me go ahead and just open up the... Ooh, actually, I really need a better quiver too. That's another upgrade. So let's go back to the trade website, and I will go ahead and type in... let's move my face out of the way again. Alright, so what do I want right now? I want some boots. So I can check out... Nomic Storms are pretty cheap. Nomic Storm. This will make us take some more damage, but like there's no boots in the entire game that will give you this amount of movement speed. It is, you do take 15% more damage while you're on full energy shield. Energy shield's kind of like shields in Halo. Like how it works is when you don't take damage, it just regens. But it will give us 20% movement speed while on full energy. And since we don't really take damage, we're basically getting this 20% movement speed on top of another 20%. But this person wants 2 orbs of alchemy. I do not have 2 orbs of alchemy, so we can't get those yet. Other ones that could be good is Lion Eyes Paws. Let's see if these might be like 1 chaos. Oh, okay, they're 5 orbs of alchemy. These will all probably go down in price eventually. And this is like small, like let's like very, very small currency. Anyways, let's check out Prism Weave. And this is good. Prism Weave. There's also replica items. Okay, so this is 1 chaos orb. This just gives you so much damage, and it's phenomenal how good this thing is. But we can't get it yet. Still, this may stay like 1 chaos orb for a bit, but it's not a big deal. We can also go to quiver. So let me go and try to find a good quiver. So this is how I'd look for a quiver. I'd go quiver, and we have our level at 33. So I'm gonna go to quiver. And then I'm going to go to requirements. I'm going to go to level 33 as the maximum. And I'm going to go over here and just go to damage to attacks. So I'm going to go to pseudo damage to attacks. And then I'm going to hit search. And then I'm going to click on the gray text here. And it's going to sort it by the one that gives us the most damage. I'm also going to filter it by alchemy. So it's like all I can pay is 1 orb of alchemy. So whatever's going to give me the most. So this one over here gives us, 50 more damage, which is pretty good. Ideally, we want lightning or physical. This one also gives us 20 to life. If you can see one that gives you resistances, that could be kind of good as well. I mean, this one's kind of nice. You don't always have to pick the top one. Even though it's sorted by this, the other one might give you a bunch of resistances. And if there's like a triple res plus life, like this one's kind of nice right here. It's giving us physical and lightning. This one's way better. And this is 37 total damage to attacks. This one is probably what we're going to shoot for because it also gives us life. One thing that actually, getting pierced is totally fine now. Later is where it becomes dangerous to get pierced because we want certain mechanics to work a certain way. Because we want the chain to work. Because how it works is it will pierce first and then it will chain to the other targets. We would rather have it chain to the target in the very first hit because otherwise the arrow just might go through and it doesn't chain to anything, which is not what you want. So this one's like, okay, this one was this. No, it was the one that had like 27 life. Let's go whisper this guy. I like this one. So this one is only 1. And we're gonna once again click on the little icon, go to his little hideout, and he's gonna start trade request, ban, or alchemy, and then let's check out how much damage we get. We're gonna go back, and I'll show you guys how much damage this increased our attack by. We could also get, oh gosh, our rings are really bad. All right, let me see, what does this give us for jewelry? We get life regen on this one, this minion. All right, let's see what this item is. Well, it's probably not gonna be that great compared to another 2-stone ring. Ideally, we get another 2-stone ring because this gives us double resistances. So you can always go to the vendors and then go to purchase items, see if they have anything that you want. Maybe your resistances are low in a certain area. I ideally just like to get 2 stone rings and I just throw that on it. We could probably get a much better belt. Let's see. There's not really anything that we can get for an upgrade on the chest piece because this is going to be like impossible to replace. But let's see how much extra damage we get. We get some extra cold res, chaos res, but chaos res will be much better later on. So we're looking at this number right here. So we have 1425, and that's going to increase to 1804. So that's a big chunk of damage. Then I could just sell my older stuff if I want to.
See you.
But I think we want some. That's actually not bad though. It's got some life regen. But I definitely want to get a better chest piece. I want the same chest piece, but with more sockets. So what I can do, and I'll show you guys how this works. So these are called jeweler's orbs. If I put this in here, it's going to increase the amount of sockets, so the holes that it provides. So this, now we got 2. Now if I use it again, will it go up to 3? Well, it could go back down to 1. It randomizes the value from 1 to 6. 6 is the highest that you can get in body armors, but there are some special rules to certain items. But I'm going to try again. Okay, I got 3. It doesn't always just give you 1, though. It's kind of random. Now, what a fuser does, and I'm going to... actually, I don't need to put these in a fuser. But what a fuser does is see how they're not linked. It will randomize the links in between them, because I don't need to have Grace linked. I don't need to have Dash linked over here. So what we're going to do is I can put Siege Ballista wherever. I'm going to put Frenzy in here, and then I'm also going to put Mana Forged arrows. With those two, now when I just shoot my lightning arrow, it will eventually shoot out a Frenzy arrow, and that will also give us a Frenzy charge. Frenzy charges gives us extra stats. Doesn't actually have it. So we get more attack damage for Frenzy charge, more attack speed. So it's great. So now we're going to go back to the Imperial Gardens. So we were just at the library, and now we're going to go to the Imperial Gardens. We need to reactivate Grace. Anytime you unequip something, you may have to activate your auras again.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Thoughts on just grabbing Harry's Bite? Oh, I don't know how much that is right now. I literally have like no currency. I mean, I have like 4 fusers. But so you can see we have these little charges now. And look at our damage. We're at 2,200 already. It's really great. We're going to be zooming through content. And these porcupines, they're a little bit dangerous. Ideally, just don't get too close to them in melee range, because when they die, they explode and they can get you killed. So there's another one of those trial of ascendancies. It's a crafting recipe. This one's really easy though. There's a bunch of like darts that shoot out, but just dash through them. It's not that big of a deal. And then we're going to pretty much finish off this act over here. 2 alch. Ah, yeah. Here's Bite's good. Good item. This is like an item that you can grab for a quest, but it's not necessary, so I'm gonna skip out on it. I'm only gonna do the quests that are required for your character's power progression. So I think it's gonna be down to the right if this was up and to the left, which is usually how like the mechanics work for this game. Ooh, there's some essence. Ooh, melted that elite so fast. Eventually we're going to get mark on hit support, and it's going to automatically activate that sniper's mark, and it's going to be amazing. It's frenzy charges and this mana forge arrow. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's like so much free damage. And automation's very, very welcomed. So, we could upgrade this ring. This ring is just well overdue for an upgrade, to be honest. Let's see. What's the other essence we got? So this on the, just say jewelry, other jewelry. So it adds cold damage to attacks. That's actually useful. So this just gives us life. Bam. Now we get some extra cold, fire, extra evasion, and some cold resist. Okay, cool. So yeah, ideally you want all of your items. Like all of our items are at least like rare right now. We're gonna get way better items as we progress. But lots of the pieces are all going to be stepping stones. So in this area, which is called the Scepter of God, just keep on walking up. Just keep on going up. Go up the stairs. And then we fight the final boss of Act 3. You like Blink Arrow? I feel like I don't like how the delay feels, and you can't like hold it down as well as dash. I mean, you can run both if you want to. I ran both for a bit. It was so much easier to hold down the two, because I hold down Q and W, and I just shoot when there's an enemy, and it's just like so smooth. I like it. I mean, yeah, you could add another step if you wanted to. It's not necessarily like terrible though. God bless you. You like this game, Dizzy? Or Dirty Izzy? Yeah, this game is awesome. It is super nice to come back every few months to this game. I'm enjoying it. Alright, so we have another skill point, and we're still working our way towards getting that additional arrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to get additional arrow here, and then there's another additional arrow over here. So it's going to be a little bit, but once we get that, oh man, our build is going to be much better. Because instead of getting the lesser multiple projectiles, we can get like slower projectiles, which actually increases our damage by a lot, because it's a more damage thing. And the amount of slow doesn't matter at all. It's just one of like the greater ones, or we can get like added lightning damage to attacks, which is actually what we want. So we're gonna have to have something have a blue, which this one has a blue. Ideally, instead of physical conversion, there is a way to convert your lightning. There used to be one lightning, so if we get a lightning master, they used to put one lightning one like right over here, and then now they moved it up here, and it's like it's so far away to grab. I mean, you can get it; it's not impossible, but you can get 40% of your physical converted to lightning. But the problem is that you still have another 10% that's not accounted for when you use lightning arrow, because this converts 50%, this converts another 40%. But you can get other things to convert. You can get a mod on gloves to get damage conversion as well. Right now we're running physical lightning, so we have easy conversion. We could also just get a lot more lightning damage and just forego the physical that you get with it and just get some extra damage bonus. This is something we happened to get earlier on. So it worked out. So the safest area in this boss arena is actually towards the back over here where we're kind of at. The reason why is the center gets kind of cluttered. A bunch of AoE. The boss is pretty easy, because we have really good damage. Yeah. On top of that, really good mobility too, really helps out. We're going to probably get some life after we get the next arrow. I just need to make sure that our accuracy is always way higher. So we have like 1400 accuracy. Think we're good.
Seen the true face of God, Exile?
Alright, now we're gonna fight Thaumetic. So we killed like the small goons. So when he starts shooting like these little spirits at you, you want to basically move, because well, he shoots a lot of them. You just kind of shoot and move until you see him do that. If you see these little things on the ground, don't stand in them. When he's doing this little like shooting the spirit ghosts, usually you want to move. Pretty much the whole time you want to move and shoot. Oh, if I got throw sniper's mark on him, that would have increased the damage.
This world is an illusion.
So when you stand on this, if you see it in the top left, it's just shocked round. So that means we take 15% more damage. That's why you don't want to stand it. Now, it's interesting. You see this giant red circle. Normally you'd think, oh, don't stand in it. No, it's actually the opposite. You want to stand inside of it. That's how this area works. Should we activate the sniper's mark? And ideally, you want to stand behind him, so his two claws are in the front, and just attack him from the back. A lot of the PoE bosses are the exact same mechanic. You just stand behind them, shoot, move, and they'll go down eventually. What do we got? 10% movement speed, 43 life. Our current ones give us 15%. Now we're going to go to the Aqueduct. This is a great spot for leveling. Now we are already level 34, and this area is 33. But if I needed to gain levels, this is an excellent area to gain levels because our mouse just kind of aims up, and the density is kind of nice. It's because you don't really need to move your mouse too much in this area as well, which is very nice. Oh, loot's great. So there's an area that we can go to where we can't inflict exposure, but we don't even do that anyways. So some of the areas in the game, they're called Volside areas, and you can go to it. They'll be a little bit more difficult, but they give you some small bonus, but it's not worth it in the campaign. The whole point of the campaign is really just to get to the end game. That's where you're going to get a huge, massive boost. Kill this, the 100-foot shadow. It's elite, just boom. All it dropped was the wisdom for us. So it drops more items, but I just don't have them here because I don't really need them. But next time, we're going to actually do our first trial of Ascendancy. If we want to, we could do it. But we're just going to at least get to the next act. I was hoping we'd get like a 1 Chaos Orb in currency by now. Maybe we should do the trial. Or not the trial of the ancestors. Okay, so from the aqueduct, you want to get to Highgate. This is lightning arrow build. It is indeed lightning arrow, or if you want to, you can play ice shot. You can play basically anything in terms of like, as long as it does elemental or physical. You can basically choose what you want to play in terms of this walkthrough. My walkthroughs are usually relatively lenient on like what you can do. But now we're in Act 4, so this is the end of Act 3, and we have one more skill point, so I'll also show off the skill tree, I guess, at the very end over here. So, again, we're just going right over here, and we're going to get this. And if you feel like you need more HP, you can go for it, but, like, you have so much evasion that, like, if you get really unlucky, and it can happen, let's say you have, what is our chance to dodge? We have 78% chance for enemies not to hit us, right? And let's say 3 enemies, they all land a crit, they all bypass the evade check, right? So it's like a probability of 3 of what, 22%. So the probability of that is just so low. I mean, it's possible, and then critting, but like, yes, you still doing it this way. Sure, you may get really unlucky, and you have like a 1% chance that you'll just die once in a while. But like, the evasion is just so much better, and I like doing this whole precise technique thing. You get so much damage. As you can see, we're not really having any problems in terms of survivability, but in the off chance that you are taking too much damage and you're like, oh, I kind of want more HP, hey, you can grab these, and you can also grab this mastery, which we will eventually do anyways. It's just, right now, there's no way we're going to be able to get enough crit strike chance and damage for crits to matter. So this has a downside of we can't actually deal crit strike damage, but we get a massive 40% more multiplier. It's good. It's worth it. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for Part 3, Act 3, and then when we come back, we're actually going to go... Actually, let me double check on this, because I want to make sure we did all of the Trial of Ascendancies. So, we are actually going to do one of the trials, and we're going to evolve into our next class over here. So you can see this Ascendancy. I'm going to give you guys a little teaser here. We're going to click on this. Oh, we still have one more area to actually go to. So wait, hold on. We're not ending this part yet. So this, we needed to do the Imperial Gardens trial. So we did Imperial Gardens, Catacombs. Oh, we didn't go to Catacombs. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to go to Catacombs. And that is, I think it might be right there. Marketplace to the Catacombs. So we're not done with this one yet. There we go. So Marketplace, Catacombs. And then next time we will do the... This is only going to take a second. But it's one of those trial things. But it must be done. We must do all the trials. Sometimes you end up doing them kind of on the way, and sometimes it's better just to do it at the very end. It just kind of depends on the luck of the draw if you happen to bypass that area. But it's important to do all these. You gotta do all the trials, because we want to upgrade to our super class. Let's see. And you could take these slow. I always rush them. We got our first divination card. So what these are... They're cards, and when you collect the required amount, you get whatever reward it says on it. So now we're good on this. So, I'm going to give you guys a teaser here. And we will show off what this opens up. It's really cool. So now we're going to click on the Ascendancy plaque, and if you need to complete them, in the pinned and the... Like, there's little timestamps on the YouTube. It will tell you exactly where you need to go. And now, and it says 33, so we should be able to do it. And eventually, when we go open up this area, because there's a gate right here, and it's going to require us to select this and activate it. But, it's got a lot of talking here. Anyways, so next part, we're going to be doing our first trial. These areas are quite difficult. If you fail it, well, you got to start from the very beginning. You can't just revive at like a checkpoint. But it's okay. You can do it. I believe in you. But anyways, this is where we're going to end Part 3, Act 3, after getting all the trials done. We're going to start the next one with the Labyrinth. It's actually a really cool thing. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next part.